What is up, guys? It is the Sportster Bradley Walker, and welcome to the Walker Report, part of In the Zone Sports Talk Radio, part of NGSC Sports. Guys, remember the website. It's ngscsports.com. We are currently sponsored by creatingzenspaces.com, the local choice in St. Petersburg, Florida, for house cleaning, organization, decluttering, and pet sitting. It's about finding the peace within you and adding comfort to your life. And guys, remember, Zen Spaces begins with you. Be kind to yourself and one another. And I want to say thank you to my friend Renee, who just sponsored us for 2 more months. She's been here with me since the beginning when this all started 2 years ago. So I would like to call her out, say thank you very much for that. We are also sponsored by Garrett's Carrots. Illuminate your inner self, shatter the trendy norms, and open up your world to a newfound level of confidence and admiration. Garrett's Carrots, designer jewelry and luxury accessories. Discover your flex. Welcome, guys, to the Walker Report. I am the Sportster. I have my 3 luxurious co-hosts beneath me as we speak. We are going to take a little trip on the Walker machine. The Walker Report time machine. 2 weeks ago, we did a show going back to the 80s. Well, tonight, guys, we're going to go 10 years into the future, and we are going to go to the 90s. So tonight's show, guys, will basically be all about the 90s, all the big sports moments that happened during the 1990s. So let me bring on my co-hosts as they all come on here. Gentlemen, good evening.
Good evening.
How we doing, guys?
Adam?
All right.
All right.
Been better?
Well, real quick before we start this, hey Gerald, I know I said if you want to do it now, you're more than welcome to go ahead and talk about your Dallas Cowboys if you want, because they did have a big part of the 90s, so you could talk about them if you want after thinking about what we talked about off air.
Well, right now I need to compress and get ready for the bombshell I'm about to drop. Because what I'm about to drop may cause a lot of slack coming back on me. But I'm going to wait towards the end of the show to do that. I'm going to keep y'all in suspense.
Okay. Also, real quick before we jump into it, because we do have Big Ten fans hanging out, it looks like USC and UCLA are heading to the Big Ten. It looks like that is a foregone conclusion. Those 2 teams are leaving the Pac-12, heading to the Big Ten.
Why would 2 teams on the West Coast go like the mid to a conference that's like in the mid section of the country? It doesn't make any sense.
I have no idea.
It's a very good question. I don't know if the only thing I can think of is the fact is that the Pac-12 was one of the conferences that voted against expanding the playoff, and maybe they want to be a conference that I don't know if the Big Ten was for it or against it, or if they were in the middle. I don't remember.
Yeah,
I don't remember either.
But maybe it's I don't know how they're going to afford travel, because remember now they're going to have to travel to the East Coast or the middle of the country, because most of the teams are in the middle of the country. So you're going to be now here's the thing too. On the flip side, if you guys think about it, all the teams in the Big Ten are now going to have to travel out west to play them. Play UCLA and USC. So that's going to suck. They have to travel to California and play those teams.
No, that's only twice a year.
True.
Before we go any further, I want to say congratulations to the Avalanche for winning the Stanley Cup.
Yes.
Fuck the Avs.
All of them?
I thought Tampa Bay had it.
No, it's, you know what? The Avalanche were the better team the entire 6-game series. I'll be honest with you, Gerald. I was surprised it went to Game 6. I thought it was going to end in 5. I thought it would have been better in all reality for them to win the cup on home ice and win it in Colorado in front of their fans. But yeah, I mean, they were the better team.
Yeah,
Obviously, but again, we're not like going away, so it's not like
not for nothing though. But Tampa Bay was getting pretty banged up.
yeah.
And you're not gonna win a series if half your team is what I call a train wreck. Can you say that, boys and girls? Sure, you can. But that's exactly what it was. And you're not gonna win when your team was, like the walking wounded.
I can say right now, Tampa. Watch out, Tampa Bay's going to be back in the hunt next season.
Of course.
I can guarantee that.
Maybe
next year, if we stay healthy, which again, that's the
That's
big
the
question.
key. That's the key.
If we stay healthy, yeah, we'll be right back there. Actually, speaking of that, the Detroit Red Wings hired one of our assistant coaches today to be
exactly.
The Dead Wings. Ugh.
So, there we go. All right, hang on a second. I got comments. What's the comments here? Is this Rich already?
Probably.
Yeah, it's Rich. I can see the middle fingers already. Yeah, it's Richie.
Yeah.
It's got to be Richie with the middle fingers already.
Yeah,
Most likely.
it's Richie.
Yep.
Oh well.
I already starting his smack talk now.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go through I got a couple websites, guys, with all the moments from the '90s and stuff like that.
Right.
So here's the first page I have. Now these are the iconic sports moments that define the 1990s. So again, and this is in no particular order or anything like that. Number 1, chasing the Bronco. That was O.J. Simpson.
Yeah.
So that was O.J. Simpson. Number 2 was Mike Tyson biting Evander Holyfield's ear.
Yes.
I remember that one.
Yep, that was that one. The Dream Team becoming who they are.
Yep.
Who they were. Yep. The home run race between McGuire and Sosa.
Absolutely.
Day baseball.
The U.S. Women's World Cup win in 1999. Brandy Chastain.
Brandy Chastain. Excuse me, I got a flash for everybody.
Well, see, that's the whole thing. I never had a problem with that. Everyone made a big deal out of that after she did it.
I would do the same thing.
So would I.
Your mom.
Jordan, obviously Michael Jordan switch hand layup against the Lakers in the 91 finals.
Yep.
You had the Atlantic Olympic bombing in 1996.
Yes.
Yeah.
Bombing in the Atlanta Olympics. The Tanya and Nancy. Tanya Harding.
Why me?
Yep. Magic Johnson, HIV positive, 1991. He announced it. Christian Leitner's shot to beat. That was, if you're not a Duke fan, everyone out there that hates Christian Leitner, I mean, that's just a foregone conclusion.
I almost dropped dead. That shot. I almost dropped dead.
Tiger's first Masters. 1996. He won his first Masters championship. I watched that. I remember watching that. Pete Sampras at Wimbledon. For Federer and Nadal and Djokovic.
Right.
In there.
The Joker.
Buster Douglas beats Mike Tyson.
Yep.
That fight.
Yeah.
You had the Nuggets upset Sonics. That was
1994.
Yep, 1994. Correct.
I was thinking.
Monica Seles gets stabbed in 1990.
It's horrible.
Yep. She was one of the best. She might be one of the best female tennis players that no one ever talks about.
Yeah.
Monica Seles. She might be one of those. The Foreman beating Michael Moore at 45 years old in 1990 to win the heavyweight championship.
Oh,
yep. The UFC is born in 1993.
Horace Gracie.
Yes.
Yep.
That was when UFC was nuts.
Yep.
I'm still
Lance Armstrong in France. That was the start of his whole thing.
Yep.
Joe Carter's walk-off in the 1993 World Series. Jets beat the Phillies.
Touch them all, Joe. Oh, shut up.
The unfortunate Chris Webber timeout for the Michigan Wolverines against North Carolina.
Yep.
The Fab Five, as they're called. The Yankees are back. 1996. They won 27. They've won the World Series 27 times. So let me ask you this question: has the next most World Series won in baseball behind the Yankees?
I think it's the Dodgers.
It is not the Dodgers.
Cardinals?
It is the St. Louis Cardinals.
I would say the Cardinals with 11.
They have 11.
11.
They have 11 World Series championships. Yep.
Hey, you forgot one moment.
I'm not done yet, Lou. I'm not done.
Okay.
I'm not done. Hang on just a second. John Daly wins the PGA championship.
Yes.
Remember that? Elway's helicopter.
Yeah.
Super Bowl. The miracle at Michigan.
No, fuck that.
Place in 1994. The X Games were born.
Yep.
In 1995. Tony Hawk.
Yep.
The King.
Okay, Mira.
The tragedy of Hank Gathers in 1990.
Yeah.
He died on the court, did he not?
Yes.
Heart condition, right?
Mm-hmm.
Cal Ripken becomes Iron Man in 1995.
Yep.
Yep.
Michael Jordan retires from basketball.
Sort of.
It's time.
Only to return. Carrie Struts, that's the Olympian that messed up her ankle, right? And then able to win. She won the gold, right? Yep. Serena Williams begins her run in 1999.
Yeah.
That's when she first was there. So that's one of the articles, guys, I have for the 90s thing. I was looking, guys.
He forgot some big moments there, Lou. And you know what I'm thinking. You know what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
There's another whole other article to go through.
True.
I've got more than just that one. So hang on just a second, because it might be in that. And if I do miss anything that you guys know about, let me know. I still got 4 more. Still got 3 more after this one.
Okay.
So if there's anything else that I missed and you guys know it, let me know. I'm just going off of what they wrote. Some of the Jim Abbott throws a no-hitter for the Yankees.
The one-arm hit. The one-arm hit.
He went to Michigan, didn't he?
The Rangers win the cup.
That's the one. The
Rangers win the cup. Michael Jordan's Bulls win in the NBA Finals. That's the first time they – correct? Yep. Oh, the 1994 MLB strike.
Yeah.
Happened in the 90s. Yep. Oh, Scott Norwood, wide right. The Bills and the Giants in Super Bowl 25.
Oh, yeah.
And it's that –
No good.
It's that close to me and Bill Parcells just being another good coach.
Yes.
If I don't say any, Dallas Cowboys win the 1995 Super Bowl. That was, the dynasty may have began at that point.
No, it ended.
Reborn.
No, the dynasty ended in
95.
2000.
Boston College beats Notre Dame.
Whoopee.
Let's see. Magic Johnson's retirement from basketball.
Yep.
Michael Jordan quits baseball.
Good.
I think you should have stuck it out one more year.
Well, he left for personal reasons. That's why he retired the first time.
Wayne Gretzky gets traded to the LA Kings.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. And off Canada, never forgot it.
The 1996 NBA draft, which featured Allen Iverson and Kobe Bryant.
AI.
Where those two are at. Rest in peace, Kobe. Rest in peace.
Yes.
Let's see.
The Black Mamba.
Yeah, absolutely.
The Canadians win Stanley Cup. That was the last time that the Canadian franchise has held the cup.
93.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And they beat the Kings.
Yep.
The Kings, that is correct. Adam Vinatieri tackles Herschel Walker. I don't know what that is.
Huh.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
Oh, yeah.
I don't. The video. There's a video, but I can't play it because it says it's unavailable because it's blocked by the NFL. So and I can't play it anyway because 9 times out of 10 I was gonna get. All right, so
Yeah, 'cause that was a violent hit. I mean, that was violent.
Yes.
The shot by Michael Jordan, the one where he defeated the Cavs. Remember that one, the Cleveland Cavaliers?
Oh, yeah.
The 1995 World Cup, when South Africa won over New Zealand. That's when Nelson Mandela became president of South Africa after him being in prison for many, many years.
27
many years. Yeah, 27 years. He was in prison. And came out of there and, I guess didn't really feel like upset or anything. Just felt like, okay, so 1990 Pistons Blazers NBA Finals.
Bad boys.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely.
The Atlanta Braves defeat Barry Bonds and the Pittsburgh Pirates in 1992.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
1995, Michael Jordan returns to basketball.
Yep. After 2 years away.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, a lot of these, a lot of them are a lot of it's the same.
Repeat.
Yeah, so if you don't hear me say anything, it's because I've already mentioned it already. But let me go through this. This is the last one, guys, that I have. I was looking for anything that I could find. I was looking this up from a couple weeks ago. Weeks ago. All right, so in the 1990s, let's see, you had Nolan Ryan threw his 6th career no-hitter for the Rangers on June 11th at the age of 43. Cecil Fielder of the Detroit Tigers became the first American League player since Roger Maris and Mickey Mantle hit 50 home runs in a season.
Really?
Now it's more commonplace nowadays.
Yep.
Yeah.
See, in 1990, there were 2 expansion teams, the Minnesota Timberwolves and the Orlando Magic.
I didn't realize they've been around that long.
That one.
Tragic.
The pre-bowl top 4 that year were Colorado, Georgia Tech, Texas, and Miami of Florida.
Mm-hmm.
So in the bowl game, Georgia Tech demolished Nebraska 45-21. Colorado squeaked by Notre Dame 10-9. The polls deferred on who should be champion. However, the UPI ranked Georgia Tech number 1, whereas the AP ranked it Colorado number 1. So it was ruled a tie.
I don't like UPI.
Television ratings held up in 1990 by very popular 49ers after winning a previous Super Bowl. The 49ers won 10 games in a row, finished with a season record of 14-2, the best in the National Football League.
Mm-hmm.
We also saw a young man by the name of Barry Sanders leading in rushing and touchdowns, averaging 5.1 yards a carry, scoring 13 touchdowns in his rookie season. So remember that name.
Oh, yeah.
That name is, that's a very popular name. Let's see. In soccer, Cameroon became the first African team to ever win a World Cup quarterfinal after defeating Colombia in the second round. Did not know that.
Yeah.
The United States, playing in its first World Cup since 1950, was knocked out in the first round. So there we go.
Well, that was expected.
Yeah. 1991. For the first time in a modern era, a team rose from last place to first and won the World Series. Who was that team?
Minnesota.
There you go. Minnesota Twins.
Game 6. We'll see you tomorrow night.
That was Kirby Puckett, right?
Yep.
Puckett era, right? Yep.
Kirby Puckett.
The Washington Redskins were the best team in 1991 with a regular season record of 14-2. They were already favorites to win the Super Bowl. They advanced somewhat easily through the playoffs. The Bills were the second best team in football with a 13-3 record. And, of course, they lost to the Redskins in the Super Bowl, as we all know, 37-24.
Yeah.
92.
Ugly.
Let's see. In 1992, Fay Vincent had resigned from his position as baseball's commissioner after no confidence vote from the owners. He was replaced by Alan Bud Selig, owner of the Milwaukee Brewers.
Yuck.
Owners were
That feels
unhappy with
terrible.
Vince for many things. Notably, he acted during the lockout. The World Series, Atlanta and Toronto played their hardest, but Toronto won the sixth and final game on Dave Winfield's double, becoming the first Canadian World Series winner in 1992.
Mm-hmm.
They went back to back. Then they win again in '93.
Yeah, they did. That
Back-to-back
home run
championships
in Game
by
6.
Joe Carter. Yep.
Yeah. Yuck.
Tony Neiman, a 16-year-old girl from home, became the youngest winner Olympic gold medalist ever, winning 2 gold medals and a silver medal in ski jumping.
Wow.
Did not know that. 1993. In March, Dallas became the 6th city in the United States to have a franchise in all 4 major pro sports: baseball, basketball, hockey, and football.
After coming off from Minnesota from the North Stars.
Yep.
Changed their name to the Dallas Stars. The Dallas Cowboys won the Super Bowl that year, defeating the Buffalo Bills 52-17.
Yeah, whoop ass.
MVP Troy Aikman threw 4 touchdowns in that game. Steve Young secured the highest average contract in NFL history at that time with a 5-year, $26.75 million deal. Think about that for a second.
Okay.
26.75 is what people make in a year now. He
Yeah.
made
Right.
that contract.
Yeah.
Hey, if Rich is listening, quarterback Charlie Ward, who played basketball at Florida State, won the Heisman Trophy.
That's right.
For football that year.
Yeah,
The
Rich-
Orange Bowl pitted.
Rich is trying to come on video.
Is he trying to?
Mm-hmm.
Is he there?
He said, I told him to come on. He goes, I'm waiting on Bradley.
No, I don't see him down here in the queue.
No.
Rich, Joe, I don't see him in the queue, so I don't know what is he trying to private chat me here? No, I don't see him. I don't see him down in the queue, so I can't bring him on there. Does he have the link? Maybe I'll send it to him if he doesn't have it.
Yeah.
There we go.
Is he up there now?
I don't see him.
No.
I don't see him either. All right, hang on a second. I promised that we would talk NASCAR. I was looking.
Let me something.
Lots of stuff we can get into. There we go. Sweet.
I mean, maybe you guys can find a link to what happened in NASCAR tonight. Oh, there we go. Now he's in there. I heard a clink.
Yeah.
And I was Adam leaving the studio. Never mind. There he is. Adam came back.
Yeah, I switched devices.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't have. Unless Richie gets on in the queue, I can't.
Yeah.
Yeah. Does he have the link?
I sent him the link.
Okay. If he gets the link, he can come on here.
Yeah.
Here we go, guys. Here's the 9 best NASCAR drivers in the 1990s, and you guys are NASCAR fans, so you could tell me if you agree with this list or not.
Okay.
All right.
Mhm.
So here we go. Number 9. This is going to go from 9 to 1.
Okay.
Number 9 is Alvin Kawicki.
Alan Kawicki.
Quickie. Okay. You heard him.
Okay.
That's that correctly. Number 8 is Davey Allison.
Uh-huh. All right.
Number 7 is Bill Elliott.
I wouldn't have put him on the. He wouldn't have made my top 9.
Number 6 is Dale Jarrett.
Yeah.
All right.
Number 5 is Terry Labonte.
Yep.
4 is Rusty Wallace.
Yes.
Yeah.
3 is Mark Martin.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Number 2, I would guess, would be Richard Petty.
Nope.
No.
Richard Petty would be number 1 on my list.
Number 2 is Jeff Gordon.
Number 1's got to be senior then.
Senior is number 1.
Yeah.
Well, it'd be a tie between Richard Petty and Dale Sr. for that number 1 position.
Yes.
Richard doesn't make the top 10 and then top 10. He doesn't make the 90s top 10.
There's Richie.
Oh, no, there's Rick.
Hey.
What's up, ugly?
Finally made it on. I was been sitting in the backstage.
Yeah. Okay.
So you guys have pretty much agree with the list of
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bill wouldn't have mind. Bill wouldn't have made. I would have put the other Labonte brother on the list first.
What's his name? Bobby.
Yep.
Bobby the body.
Bobby.
For that number one, it'd be a tie between Dale Sr. and Richard Petty.
Absolutely.
Not for the 90s.
Oh, for the 90s, definitely.
Yeah, this is the 90s.
It would have to be Dale Sr. for the 90s.
Yeah,
Senior and Gordon.
Gordon's 2. Dale Senior is
I'll
1.
buy that.
So,
I think it's more 1A and 1A. 1 and 1A.
okay.
They both won 4 titles in the 90s. They both won 30 plus, 40 plus races. I mean, they dominated everything there was to dominate in the 90s. And Senior,
Yes.
I think you got. I mean, Gordon had 2 500 wins. Senior finally got his 500 win. And what could have been
Right.
when Koecki
Everybody knows who taught Jeff Gordon how to drive.
Yeah.
Yep, Dale
Jeff
Sr.
Gordon? No, he didn't. Jeff Gordon was a whiz.
Oh, absolutely.
Dale Sr. taught Gordon how to drive.
Sure did.
And then the race, if that number 3 was on your bumper, you knew you were in trouble.
Yeah.
Yeah.
19,
I tell you somebody else. If this individual was on your bumper, you're in trouble too, and that's Jimmy Spencer.
Jimmy Spencer was an ass clown.
Yeah, I agree with Adam. Spencer was a jackass.
A big one.
He'll wreck your ass just for GP.
He had no business being out there. He's just an absolute clown.
Overweight.
Why he kept getting rides is beyond me. Him, the Bodines. I mean, and I know Jeffrey gave Hendrick his first win in the '80s, but Todd Bodine. I mean, come on, man.
Mm-hmm.
There's a driver racing now that don't have no business out there, and that's Kyle Busch.
Yeah.
Wham wham baby.
Because every time he wins the race, he always says, I.
He went through that. We went through that last week.
He doesn't mention his team. And every time something happens and the reporters want to talk to him, he just walks off like he don't want to deal with it.
Mm-hmm.
I tell you a driver that used to hate Kyle Busch, and that was Dale Jr.
Yeah.
Oh, and I do have some breaking NASCAR news I want to pass on.
Yeah.
Remember last week I was talking about Martin Truex saying he will retire. He decided he's not going to retire. He's going to come back. He's going to come back next season.
Okay.
He'll be back for one more.
I think he wants to win another championship before he steps down.
Why not?
I heard he might be going to Junior.
I heard Junior bringing Junior Motorsports up to the Cup.
Yep.
Oh, that would be sweet.
Yep. Junior wants to go Cup racing next year.
Right.
That would be sweet to have Junior Motorsports up in the Cup Series.
I don't know.
But what else you got for us there, Mr. Brad?
Well, 1995 of the strike.
Dang, somebody's got some bad wind noise.
The owners to attempt to create a salary cap for baseball. We all know that didn't happen.
No.
That didn't happen.
Did not happen. Atlanta won the World Series 4-2 over the Cleveland Indians. Atlanta only won 90 games that season. Cleveland won 100
Mm-hmm.
at that time. Michael Jordan
You gotta
returned
get Cleveland chokes.
Yes, they do.
to basketball and the Chicago Bulls in March, but it was too little too late for them.
Yeah.
George Foreman was stripped of the heavyweight title when he chose to fight out Axel Schultz instead of Tony Tucker.
Mm.
I remember that. Yeah.
For the title. This was the year that the Carolina Panthers and Jacksonville Jaguars were added to the NFL to become number
96, right?
30. Yep.
Yep.
San Francisco, Dallas, Green Bay, Kansas City, Pittsburgh, and Buffalo all won their divisions that year.
Mm-hmm.
After several exciting playoff matchups, Pittsburgh and Indianapolis for the AFC, Green Bay and Dallas from the NFC. The Cowboys in the middle of their last dynamic run got revenge on the Steelers, beating them 27-17 in Super Bowl 30. 1996, the New York Yankees became baseball's world champions after defeating the Atlanta Braves.
Yep.
Mark McGwire hit 52 home runs, the most since George Foster in 1977, also 52. Dave Winfield, Ozzie Smith, Andre Johnson, and Kirby Puckett, all future Hall of Famers, retired. So all those names retired. So the Wizard, Dave Winfield, Andre Johnson, Kirby Puckett, all retired in the same year. Jim Bunning, Bill Foster, Earl Weaver, and Ned Hamlin were all elected to the Baseball Hall that year. Let's see. Kentucky won it all in 1996, beating Kansas. I'm sorry, beating Syracuse. My apologies, beating Syracuse.
My home state.
Marcus Camby won Player of the Year. Where did Marcus Camby play college basketball?
Kentucky, I think.
Nope, did not play in Kentucky. Where did Marcus Camby play his college basketball?
I have no idea.
The Minutemen.
Where did Devin Booker?
UMass.
Oh, UMass.
UMass. Michael Jordan was the leading scorer. 2,491 points and led the Bulls to yet another NBA championship. John Stockton broke
That
the
was
NBA
number 6.
for assists and steals.
Mm-hmm.
4 players averaged a double-double per game. That was Akeem Olajuwon, David Robinson, Charles Barkley, and Patrick Ewing. So all those guys average a double-double every game. Mike Tyson defeated Frank Bruno for the heavyweight championship. Evander Holyfield was next to challenge and beat Tyson to earn the heavyweight title for himself.
Right.
Florida facing number 1 Florida State Sugar Bowl, upset Florida State and finished first place. That was the year that Danny Ward. That was the year that Florida played Florida State twice the same year.
Yeah.
Yeah, Florida shouldn't have been there.
The devastation for Browns fans as the team was moved from Cleveland to Baltimore to become the Baltimore Ravens. The Houston Oilers played an empty stadium after announcing they were moving to Nashville to become the Tennessee Titans.
Yes.
The Seattle Seahawks nearly moved to Los Angeles but stayed. I did not know that. I did not know they were.
Yeah, they were thinking
Me
about it.
neither.
Super Bowl was between Green Bay and New England. That was the Favre-led Packers were too much for the Patriots as they won 35-21 that year. Muhammad Ali, one of the greatest boxers of all time, was bestowed the honor of lighting the Olympic torch. I remember that.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. It's 96 in Atlanta, right?
Well, like
Correct.
a butterfly, sting like a bee.
The 100-yard dash record was broken by Donovan Bailey of Canada at 9.84 seconds. The 200 and 400-meter records were broken by Michael Johnson of the United States. I do remember that. 1997, interleague play was introduced for the first time in Major League Baseball.
Yes.
Did not know that. Ken Griffey Jr. and Mark McGwire broke their own single-season home run records with 56 and 58, respectively. I think that Griffey had the sweetest swing I've ever seen.
Yeah.
He has the sweetest swing I've ever seen a baseball player. The World Series was between the Florida Marlins and Cleveland Indians. Obviously, we know the Marlins won their first of 2 World Series championships.
Basically
Baseball expanded. Who were the two expansion teams in 1997 for Major League Baseball?
Mm. 1997, you said, right?
1997.
D-backs?
The D-backs were one of them. The D-backs were one of them. That is correct. Who was the
Rockies?
other? Nope. Rockies are already in the league.
The Rockies have been in the league a long time.
I'm sorry, Gerald. What was that?
The Angels?
Nope.
No.
Angels been in
They've
the
been around for a long time.
1997.
Think where I'm at. Think where I'm at.
Tampa Bay.
The Tampa Bay
Tampa
Devil Rays. The Devil Rays. Yep.
Now just some of the Rays.
Not just because people down here are crazy and they don't want the devil in the name, whatever. There's actually an animal called a devil ray, so it is what it is. You know?
Well,
Stingray.
remember, the devil made him do it. The devil made him do it, though.
Nothing changed. Michael Jordan again led the league. The Bulls won their 5th title in 7 years. Dennis Rodman was fined and suspended repeatedly during the season. Pat Riley won Coach of the Year, becoming Mutombo won Defensive Player of the Year. Evander Holyfield was named Heavyweight Championship after Tyson was disqualified. Did his ear, the whole ear thing.
Yeah.
And remember this name. Charles Woodson of Michigan became the first defensive player to win the Heisman Trophy.
Yep.
Remember that name quite well. Remember this name as well. Peyton Manning finished second. Remember those names. Because both of those guys are Hall of Famers, so just remember that. He set records for passing yardage, touchdowns, and most 300-yard passing games in the SEC history. In the Rose Bowl, Michigan earned the NCAA title, beating Washington State 21-16. Super Bowl, Green Bay faced New England for the game. Desmond Howard returned 900 yards, earning an MVP. Green Bay beat New England again, 35-21. Super Bowl featuring Brett Favre may go down as Joe Madden's favorite of all time. John Madden's favorite of all time. 1998 was the year that McGuire and Sosa battled to break Roger Maris's 61 thing. McGuire hit 70, Sosa hit 66. As a side note, Ken Griffey Jr. also did well, banging out 56 home runs in 1998.
The balls were juiced up.
Oh, I lost Richie. The Yankees won 114 games that season.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And could break it this year.
The Braves won that also. There we go. I got Richie back. We lost Richie there for a second. Kerry Wood set the strikeout record, striking out 20 batters in a one-hit game.
Yes.
It was quite possibly the best single-game pitching performance of all time. Also, David Wells threw a perfect game.
Perfect game.
98. When did David Cone throw his? Did I already pass?
A year after.
99. Okay. I remember David Cone.
Yeah, we talked about it.
Okay. North Carolina was alone as a number 1 seed in the Final Four. Kentucky, Utah, Stanford also made it. North Carolina lost to Utah, and Kentucky beat Stanford. Kentucky won the championship over Utah 78-69. That was that. Chicago Bulls winning another NBA championship, though Jackson announced he would be not returning for the 1999 season. Dikembe Mutombo won the Defensive Player of the Year again. Tim Duncan won Rookie of the Year. There you go.
Oh, wow.
Evander Holyfield lost to Lennox Lewis in that year. Of course, Tyson lost over $100 million to his promoter.
Oh, boy.
Dying King ruined Mike Tyson.
Yeah. Ohio State was the preseason favorite to win the NCAA championship. They stayed on top until they lost to Michigan State on November 7th. Kansas State and UCLA had similar problems, losing 1 game each in December. After 4 quarters of smash mouth football, the championship went to the Tennessee Volunteers, beating the Seminoles 23-16. Former head coach Notre Dame Lou Holtz announced he was going to the University of South Carolina. Joe Paterno won his 300th game at Penn State. Ricky Williams set a new NCAA career rushing record, gaining 6,279 yards and a Heisman Trophy. And where did Ricky Williams play, Gerald? Horns. Yeah, he was a Texas Longhorn.
Longhorn.
He was a Longhorn. How about this?
Texas Long Steers.
Second round of the World
The
Cup.
Long Steers.
Longhorn.
David Beckham was given a
Long
red
Steers.
card. England nearly won, but lost 4-3 in the penalties to France.
Mm.
In the World Cup. Let's see. Men's hockey team was won by this. Gold medal was won by the Czech Republic
Yep.
in 1998. The men's side, the U.S. women's hockey team won the gold medal, beating Canada.
Yes.
And in 1999, McGuire and Sosa destroyed their home run records, hitting that's a suited record 5,528 home runs combined, averaging 2.28 per game. Wow.
Mhm.
In a failed union strategy, 22 MLB umpires lost their jobs in mid-July. They
Right.
have their own thing. The Atlanta Braves won the NL East. The Diamondbacks won the NL East and the NL Central. Houston won. NL was won by the Astros, who posted a 97-65 record. The Yankees won the AL East. The Indians won the Central. The Yankees came out on top over the wild card Boston Red Sox. In the National League Championship, the Braves beat out the Mets. In the World Series, the Yankees claimed their second straight title and their second straight series sweep. The world also saw the passing of Joe DiMaggio. March 8th, 1999. The Yankee Clipper had be one of the best players in baseball, obviously holding a record that I don't think will ever be broken.
No.
And that 56-game hit streak, I don't think that'll ever be broken.
People have gotten close, but
Yeah,
nothing yet.
But
I'm inclined to agree with you.
That'll never be broken.
Probably not.
led
Not
by
with the way baseball is played right now.
Yeah, I got back in that too.
If the game shifts, if the strategy shifts, if the long ball goes away, and you see contact come back, where guys are trying to hit for average,
Yeah.
that might get broken. But not with the way the game is played right now, where everybody's trying to crush it.
Exactly.
They're bigger, they're taller, they're stronger, they're faster, they've got more facial hair than us.
Well, I don't think that's gonna do anything better, stronger, faster. The 6 million player.
led by head coach Jim Calhoun, the Yukon Huskies captured their first national championship
Yep.
in school history, edging out the Duke Blue Devils.
If Duke just was about to get a 3 up, but the clock ran out of time and they blew it.
It was Duke's 8th title game appearance and the first Final Four appearance since 1994. We all know that Coach K has retired, so
Yeah.
we could say that.
Who would have thought he stuck around for another 25 years?
I was gonna say, you look at that. Yes, exactly.
Well,
Exactly. What?
Oh, I was just gonna say it's funny thing. We're in the future now, and thinking back on those things that happened in the 90s, and
Mhm.
just you mentioned the Red Sox there. The Red Sox they played the Yankees in the divisional round or the wild card or whichever round it was, and then 5 years later they win it all. They come back 3-0 to beat the Yankees.
2000.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then the Mets were on the other side, and they never could get back there until 2015, and they had that run in 2015.
Lost to the Royals.
And they lost the Royals. Indeed.
Yep.
Lost to the Royals.
another
Yeah,
one.
It's just
that 2004 series, the Yankees beat us 19-6 in Game 3
Yeah.
at
Yeah.
Fenway Park.
Yeah.
I trust me, I thought it was all over. I thought
so did everyone else.
So we all
Yankees
did.
are gonna
Yeah.
sweep. They're going to go to the World Series. They're going to play St. Louis, who at that time was the best team in baseball. They had over 100 wins that season. And I thought, yep, it's going to be the Cardinals and the Yankees, and that's who it's going to be. And
Right.
things happened.
Little
Uh,
different.
So there was a lockout in the NBA.
Really?
On
Oh,
July
really?
1st, 1998, NBA players agreed to a lockout that lasted 204 days. It forced the league to cancel the first 4 months of the season and the All-Star game. The teams were forced to play only 50 games in 89 days schedule. Wow.
Wow.
And the next one finals anyway.
That's crowning them in, isn't it?
Yep. The
You're
most
turning and burning.
most controversy and disappointed surrounding the boxing world in 1999. Mike Tyson came back to the ring after a 19-month suspension, but couldn't stay out of trouble.
Yes.
So,
No, he couldn't.
So that was that.
I was always a big Tyson fan.
Now, Rich gets off here. Florida State obliterates Virginia Tech in the national championship game, 46-29.
Mm-hmm.
The Heisman Trophy was captured by a young running back named Ron Dane out of Wisconsin.
He went nowhere. He went to the Giants and did absolutely nothing.
Nope.
I remember because I had Madden 01, and Ron Dane was one of the best players on that damn game, and he stunk.
On October 16, 1999, Mountain Union College won its 48th consecutive game, breaking the former record held by the 1957 University of Oklahoma Sooners.
In what sport? Football?
In football. Yeah, it's football.
Must have been like a Division II or Division III team.
Instant replay was reinstated after several controversial calls in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
The replay system
Love
was
instant.
92%.
I love the concept of instant replay. I think it's great, and I've been a proponent of it for 20 years. I think it's a little bit overused.
Yes.
And it, for me, if you look at it for more than a minute and you can't decide which way it should go, you just call it whatever it was on the field. If you take a look at it, you're like, okay, yeah, that was the right call. It should be, as long as, if it's not blatant, I get it, I understand. Something we forget as fans is that there are more than just looking at the play. It's setting the down and distance. It's setting the time on the clock. It's especially if there's a change of possession. And it's making sure that you have the spot right. So there's a whole process that goes into it.
There were 3 big stars that retired in 1999. That would be John Elway, Reggie White, and Barry Sanders.
Yep.
Yes.
And the Super Bowl was won by Kurt Warner. That name came to be in 1999.
Greatest Joe Hunter. I remember that. That's the first.
The Kevin Dyson 1 yard short of the end zone on the final play.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's the first Super Bowl I remember watching start to finish.
Yep.
Yeah.
99. Because I was a huge Kurt Warner, Marshall Falk fan. I thought it was great. It's great theater, and I really enjoyed watching the Rams play. When you grow up a Lions fan, you find players to root for. So, rooting for the best players, the best teams. That's. Your team's not very, very good, so it's hard, for Gerald or I think Lou can understand where I'm coming from. Is as long as they're and see, I grew up a Brett Favre fan, and I got a lot of shit for that because
right.
Growing up in Michigan, you're not supposed to like Packers, but I liked Brett Favre. I thought he was cool, and watching him sling the rock like he did was so much fun.
There was a young man by the name of Tiger Woods who won $6 million in 1999.
Yep.
It's not a bad payday.
Tournaments. The sadder part of that year was when Payne Stewart died in a plane crash after winning the U.S. Open over Phil Mickelson. I remember those two playing against each other. Here in the 1990. So I'm going to go through all the championships from 90 to 99.
Okay.
In baseball, who do you think won the championship in baseball in 1990? What you guys guess?
Wasn't it Toronto?
Who said? What'd you say, Lou?
I think it was the Cincinnati Reds.
It is the Reds.
That's right.
Look at them now. Yeah.
Yeah, no kidding.
Who won the NBA championship in 1990?
That'd be the Pistons.
That is also correct. Who won college basketball? Who was the top team in the college basketball in 1990? It's not one of the major ones, I can tell you.
I believe it was UNLV.
It was UNLV. That is correct.
Good call.
Thunderbolts.
That's correct. Who won the 1990 Super Bowl?
Wasn't that Washington?
Washington.
Nope. It's the New York Giants.
Giants.
College football was tied between Colorado and Georgia Tech. Remember the whole controversy?
Yeah, we talked about that.
Yes.
1991, baseball was won by the Twins.
Right, we talked about that.
Basketball was the Bulls. College
Yeah.
basketball was Duke. Duke the New Devil.
Okay. Thought so.
1991, you guys had the Redskins. That's who won that year.
Yep.
College football was between Miami, the Hurricanes, and Washington. 1992, the World Series champions were the Blue Jays. The
Yep.
Bulls, obviously, again. Duke won again in college basketball. Riddick Bowe was the heavyweight champion. The Dallas Cowboys won the Super Bowl. And, yes, Alabama won a national championship in 1990.
Really?
Correct. Blue Jays, the Bulls repeated as champions in their respective leagues. North Carolina won in college basketball. Lennox Lewis won the heavyweight championship. Dallas won back-to-back Super Bowls. And Florida State won a national championship that year.
Yes.
Pro baseball,
That's
there was no champion because there was a strike. Basketball was won by the Houston Rockets. I think they beat the Magic. Is that correct?
The Knicks. They beat the Knicks.
They beat the Knicks? Okay.
If Starks would have made that jumper, we would have won it.
College basketball was won by the Arkansas Razorbacks.
Yep.
Lennox Lewis was the heavyweight champion. The 49ers were the Super Bowl champion, and the Nebraska Cornhuskers were the national champions in college football.
Yes.
In 95, baseball was won by the Braves. The Rockets repeated as NBA champions. UCLA won in college basketball. George Foreman was the heavyweight champion. Dallas won again in pro football. College football, Nebraska repeated as national champions.
Osborne.
1996, the Yankees won a World Series. The Bulls again. Kentucky, Mike Tyson was the heavyweight champion. The Green Bay Packers won the Super Bowl, and the Florida Gators won the national championship. Pro baseball, 97 was the Marlins. The Bulls, Arizona Wildcats won college basketball. Evander Holyfield was the champ. Pro football was the Broncos, and college football was Michigan and Nebraska. I don't know how they determined who won the championship there.
Yeah.
Baseball again, it was the Yankees. The Bulls repeated as NBA champions. Kentucky won college basketball. Evander Holyfield won again. Denver Broncos won a Super Bowl. Tennessee won the national championship in 98. 1999, the Yankees repeated again. The Spurs won a championship. UConn won in college basketball. Evander Holyfield still had the belt. The Rams won the Super Bowl, and the Seminoles won the national championship. So that is
Number two.
All the notes I have for the 90s. So if you guys want to talk about something in particular, we can.
Well, you said you wanted to do the 90s because you remember the 90s far more than you remember the 80s. So I just wanted to briefly talk about my first memory of kind of sports is winning it all in 97 when we what did we beat? Because I can never remember which year was which offhand. Say we beat Philadelphia in 97 when McCarty has that one of the best playoff goals of all time.
Yes.
In all alone against Hextall. And Ron Hextall is a great goalie. And Darren McCarty is not known as a scorer. And he just absolutely pulls the string on Hextall. Just pulls it. If you've never seen it, just look up Red Wings, Darren McCarty versus Ron Hextall. It's an amazing goal. If we wouldn't get struck, I'd pull it up and it's just
You guys want me to go through the NHL champions from 1990 to 1999?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right.
I can go through. Okay.
Let me see if I can recall them all.
Okay. 1990.
Don't remember 90. Can never remember 90.
The Oilers.
That's right. 91 was Pittsburgh. 92 was Pittsburgh. 93 was Montreal. 94 was New York. 95 was New Jersey. 96 was Colorado. 97 was Detroit. 98 was Detroit. And 99 was Dallas.
That would be true.
Triple overtime goal.
Let me go through.
No goal. Did not count. Did not count. No goal. His foot was in the crease. By the rule, that was no goal.
So here is
That's a hill I will die on. That was no goal.
Here's some notes. So the 1990 Stanley Cup was won by the Edmonton Oilers. Mark Messier was their captain.
Yep.
Bill Ranford won the Conn Smythe. The Stanley Cup winning goalie was Greg Simpson. I'm sorry. Stanley Cup winning goal was Craig Simpson at 9:31 in period 2. Head coach was John Muckler, and general manager was Glenn Sather. Notable players were Yari Curry, Mark Messier, Craig Simpson, Steve Smith, and Bill Ranford. The road to the Cup, they beat Winnipeg 4-3. They beat the Kings 4-0. In the conference finals, they beat the Chicago Blackhawks 4-2. And then in the Stanley Cup final, they beat the Bruins 4-1. 1991 Pittsburgh Penguins, captain Mario Lemieux. Conn Smythe Trophy winner Mario Lemieux. Stanley Cup winning goal was Yolf Samuelson, 2 minutes in the first period of Game 6. Bob Johnson was the head coach. Craig Patrick was the general manager. You have Lemieux, Recchi, Stevens, Larry Murray, and Tom Barrasso, who was their goaltender.
I was going to say, wasn't Tommy Barrasso the goalie there?
They beat the Devils 4-3, the Capitals 4-1. They beat the Bruins in the conference finals 4-2. And in the Stanley Cup finals, they beat the Minnesota North Stars 4-2. He repeated as Stanley Cup champions in 92. Also, captain Mario Lemieux, also Conn Smythe Trophy winner Mario Lemieux. Ron Francis had the Stanley Cup winning goal, 7:59 in the third period of Game 4. They were head coached by a guy named Scotty Bowman. That name just rings a bell. General manager
He might be the greatest hockey coach of all time.
Yes.
Ron Francis, Mario Lemieux, Kevin Stevens, Larry Murray, Tom Barrasso was also the goalie there. The Capitals, they beat the Capitals 4-3. The Rangers 4-2. The Bruins swept the Bruins in the conference final and then swept the Blackhawks. So they won 8 games in a row to close out the Stanley Cup. Jesus.
Good if you can do it, man.
The 1993 Montreal Canadiens, the last time they have had the Cup in Canada, winning on a Canadian team. The captain was a young man by the name of Guy Carbonneau. I think that's how I pronounce that last name.
Carbonneau.
The Conn Smythe Trophy winner was a young goaltender by the name of Patrick Waugh. I think we all know who that is.
Yep.
Kirk Muller had the game-winning goal. Jacques Demers was the head coach. Serge Savard was the general manager. Their road to the Cup went through Quebec, 4-2. They swept the Sabres. They beat the Islanders 4-1 in the Stanley Cup Finals. They defeated, I believe, was Gretzky on that team?
That was Gretzky's Kings. Yes, it was.
4-1. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
The 1994 New York Rangers, captain Mark
Talk about a
Messier.
team of destiny.
Conn Smythe Trophy winner Brian Leach. Messier had the game-winning goal in period 2 of Game 7. Mike Keenan was the head coach. Neil Smith was the general manager. Adam Graves, Alex Kovalev, Mark Messier, Brian Leach, and Mike Richter, who I thought was one of the better goaltenders ever to play the game.
The best goalie of the 90s.
They swept the Islanders in the conference quarterfinals, beat the Capitals 4-1. They beat the Devils 4 games, so that both the conference and Stanley Cup finals went to 7 games, with the Rangers coming out 4-3 over the Devils, and then 4-3 over the Devils. The 1995 Stanley Cup champions were the New Jersey Devils.
Yep.
Scott Stevens was their captain, one of the ruthless hitters in hockey. Conn Smythe Trophy winner was Claude Lemieux. Neil Broughton had the game-winning goal. Jacques Lemaire was the head coach. Lou Lamoriello was their general manager. They beat the Bruins 4-1. Pittsburgh Penguins 4-1. Philadelphia Flyers 4-2, and swept the Detroit Red Wings 4-0 in the Stanley Cup final. 1996 Colorado Avalanche. Captain Joe Sakic, Conn Smythe Trophy winner Joe Sakic. Stanley Cup winning goal was Hugh Krupp, if I'm pronouncing that name correctly.
Game 3. Game 4, triple overtime.
Triple overtime, that is correct. Mark Crawford was the head coach. Pierre Lacroix was their general manager. Peter Forsberg, Joe Sakic, Sandis Ozolinsh, and Patrick Waugh. Their road to the conference was not as easy as a lot of them are. 4 games to 2 over the Canucks, 4 games to 2 over the Blackhawks, 4 games to 2 in the conference final over the Red Wings, and then they swept the Florida Panthers. The only time the Panthers have gotten to the Stanley Cup Finals, and they were swept by the Avalanche. 1997 Detroit Red Wings, Captain Stevie Yzerman, Conn Trophy winner Mike Vernon. Darren McCarty had the Game 4 second period goal that won it all. Scotty Bowman was the head coach. Sergei Fedorov, Brendan Shanahan, Steve Yzerman, Nicholas Lindstrom, Mike Vernon, all those guys are well known. St. Louis Blues 4 games to 2. The Mighty Ducks of Anaheim, they swept them 4-2 over the Avalanche in the conference finals, and they swept the Flyers 4 games to none in the final. They repeated as Stanley Cup champions in '98. Yzerman was the captain and the Conn Smythe Trophy winner that year. Martin Lapointe had the game-winning goal in period 2 of Game 4. Scotty Bowman, Ken Holland, and again, their conference final went through the Phoenix Coyotes. Wow, okay. St. Louis Blues 4 games to 2. Dallas 4 games to 2, and once again they swept the Stanley Cup Finals 4 games to none. And as Adam was saying, the 1999 Dallas Stars. Darren Hatcher was the captain. Joe Neuendijk was the Conn Smythe Trophy winner.
Yep.
Game-winning goal was the crease goal by Brett Hall. Game 6 of third overtime, Ken Hitchcock. Bob Gainey was the general manager. Their role to the Stanley Cup, Edmonton Oilers, they swept. They beat the Blues 4 games to 2. The Avalanche in the conference finals 4 games to 3. And in the Stanley Cup final, they beat the Buffalo Sabres 4 games to 2.
And Dominik Hasek was not happy about that. He was cursing in Czechoslovakian when the goal was scored. Like, Dominic, forget it. I haven't made love to my wife in a week. I'm going home. Forget it. This game was the series over. Good night. I haven't slept in a week. Come on. I gotta go home. It's over. I haven't made love to my wife in 2 weeks. Oh.
Guys, I'm going to look up rugby, world champion rugby, because I know that it's only every 4 years.
Yep.
So there shouldn't be too many championships in that decade. Let's see right here. All right, so there was only 4 in the 1990 in the decade. That host that year was England, France, Ireland, Scotland, and Wales. Australia won the World Cup. In 1995, South Africa hosted and won the World Cup. Obviously, if you have not seen the movie Invictus, that entitles that.
Right. Yes.
And then in 1999, Wales was the host, and Australia won it again.
That was a whale of a loss.
So yeah. I believe right as we speak, the defending champs are South Africa, which was won in 2019. So we're coming up on next year. The World Cup will be held again. But yeah, they were four of them in 1990, and there were 5 of them in the 2000s. So from 2000 to 2010, there was only 3. So beyond that, but yeah, I'm going to ask you guys, and if you guys know the answer, you don't know. There are 2 teams topped with the most. I'm sorry. I apologize. Who has the most World Cups in rugby in the world? 1 team.
Wales.
England is on the list. They only have 1. They have 1.
New Zealand.
They have 3. I'm sorry. It's tied. It's tied between New Zealand and South Africa. The All Blacks.
That was going to be my next guess.
87, 2011, and 2015. South Africa won in 95, 2007, and then 3 years ago, 2019. They beat England in the final in Japan. It's held in Japan. They beat England in the final. I watched the final. I'm a South African rugby fan. Springbok, as they're called. But it's. So I was just going through the list of Should I go and look? You guys know who won the NASCAR from year to year in the 90s?
I can get pretty close. 90 would be Earnhardt. 91 is Earnhardt. 92 is Kowicki. 93 is Earnhardt. 94 is Earnhardt. 95 is Gordon. 96 is Labonte. 97 is Gordon. 98 is Gordon. 99 is Jarrett.
Okay, let me see real quick, bud. Let me see.
When did Jared?
Dale
All
Jarrett.
right, here we go. So you said 1990 was senior, right?
Yep. 91 was senior. 92 was Kowicki. 93 was senior. 94 was senior. 95 is Gordon. 96 is Labonte. 97 is Gordon. 98 is Gordon. 99 is Jarrett.
Yep, that's correct. That is also correct. All those are correct.
Yes.
That is correct. So let's see.
Getting close to my foot, Adam. You nailed it right. You nailed it.
Off the rip, off the top of my head, without any prompting.
Yep.
I am pretty good at what I do.
Yes.
I would have to look it up because I don't remember any of that from the 90s.
Yeah. So you had Jeff Gordon with 3 championships and Dale Sr. with 4 championships in the 90s. Yeah.
The only one he didn't win was in that from 1990 to 94 would be 92 when Kowicki won.
Correct. That is correct.
How many
Senior
times?
had a bed.
How many times did it take Cena to win the Daytona 500?
20 tries.
Wow.
20 years of frustration. 20 years of trying. He had it won at least a half a dozen times coming off. Should have won it in 90. Should have won it in 90. Cut a tire going into 3. Finished second. I don't even know how many times offhand. 4 times?
I think he finished second 4 or 5 times in the Daytona 500.
Yeah.
He came close. I mean, this close.
Dreadfully close.
Yes.
He could have won it in in 93. That was the Dale and Dale show.
I mean, he had there's a bunch of times he had a chance to win it,
Should have won.
and he just couldn't get there.
Yep. And finally in 98 gets it done. And 90 from his win in 98 until his win in October of 2000, he struggled. And he just, chasing, when you're chasing, he's got 7 titles tied with Richard Petty. He's got a Daytona 500. He's won everything there is to win. 75 wins, third all time, at the time, and he was winding down.
Do you think there in this era of NASCAR? Do you think there's another driver that can catch Earnhardt or pass him?
The only 2 that come to mind off the rip are Kyle Busch is starting to get old. I think he'll be 35 or 36 this year. And I would say Kyle Larson be about the only one as it sits right now that I think would legitimately have a chance to challenge Earnhardt or Petty or Johnson.
I agree with you on that. Because Larson's he drives that car like he stole it.
Yeah. I would have said 5 years ago Kyle Busch, before he broke his leg in 2015. But then he's had some up and down years. I think let's get a couple years into this decade and see where we're at with this new car and see, once the teams wrap their head around it and we actually see what it's going to do. And then we'll by 2024, 2025, we'll know if there's even going to be any more NASCAR.
Because I'm going to have to throw one more name in there that could possibly come close to Earnhardt, and that would be Chase Elliott.
Oh, without doubt.
He won't catch,
I think he'd be.
but he'll come close.
It's hard to say. It's
Yeah.
hard to say. It's kind of fun. Fun looking back at the past and thinking about where we were when those things were going down, and now 20, 25, 30 years later, now having the perspective of time. We don't know. Chase. Yeah,
Right.
Chase. Of course, any one of those guys, Larson, Bowman, any of your young drivers, Tyler Reddick. Tyler Reddick is a young star to watch.
Ryan Blaney.
Ryan Blaney is gonna flame out here in 3 years. Ryan Blaney is just better than he's marginally better than his old man, and
Oh yeah.
his old man wasn't that great. Ryan Blaney is not a closer. If he gets the killer instinct, Ryan Blaney could be on that same level as a Rusty Wallace. He wins a title, wins a bunch of races, but isn't a threat year in and year out. Makes a nice career for himself and makes Hall of Fame, but isn't a contender for driver of the decade or anything like that. Then, in my unprofessional opinion on Ryan Blaney, from what I've seen, if he can find the killer instinct, that drive to succeed, if you will, then yeah, Ryan Blaney could make some noise. But right now, I see him on the same kind of level as Terry Labonte, Matt Kenseth, nice guys. Win some races, might win a title, might not win a title. But I think Bowman, Gibbs, Ty Gibbs, William Byron is another name.
Well, I've been hearing that Ty Gibbs could be moving up into the Cup Series next year to race for his grandpa.
Ah.
I thought he was going to get the 19, but unless Truex jumps ship and goes to JRM next year, I just don't see them having a seat open for him. Because who are they gonna let go? Because Hamlin's locked up, Busch is locked up, Hamlin's locked up, Truex is locked up, and who's the fourth car? They only have 3 cars right now. I feel like the Gibbs has more than 3 cars.
Let's see. There's Kyle Busch.
Yep.
Denny Hamlin.
Yep.
Martin Truex.
Yep.
And the one that got 20. Number 20.
Maybe they only have 3 drivers. Oh yeah. Christopher Bell.
Yeah, Christopher. Yeah.
Christopher Bell could be out. And Gibbs may get that ride, but I don't know if they want to give up on Christopher Bell so fast.
Well, yeah, probably.
We just see, but
yeah. We talk about the teams from the 90s that are gone, like Yates, Kowicki. I mean, Junior Johnson. Staple for 30 years in NASCAR, and his teams fell apart in the 90s.
Lou, I was going to ask you a question. There were 3 World Cups in the 1990s in soccer. Can you tell me who won those World Cups?
I believe Germany won in 90. Brazil won in 94. Thank you very much. Over Italy in a shootout. Dirty, no good. And I believe France won in 98.
You would be correct, sir, on all 3 of those.
Yeah.
All 3 of those. Yeah, Germany beat Argentina. It was held in Italy. Brazil beat Italy, and that was held in Sweden.
No, it was held in Los Angeles.
Sorry, held in the United States. I apologize. Yes, I'm sorry. Yep.
I saw that. I was in disgust.
In 1998, it was held in Croatia, and France beat Brazil. So
yeah,
that
serves
was
you right.
Talk about. Do you follow F1 at all, Gerald?
Huh?
You watch? You follow F1?
You mean Formula One?
Yeah, Formula One.
Kind
of not. kind of not really. I mean, if it's on, you'll watch, but if it's not, you're
Yeah.
not seeking. Yeah, this is how I was thinking about Michael Schumacher. And how dominant he was in the 90s.
Michael Andretti.
Yeah, Michael Andretti,
Who
the
else?
answers.
Yeah, who else? Trying to think.
We tragically lost to Ayrton Senna in '94.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a driver that got killed back in the 90s when the car behind him went airborne and landed on top of his car. I have to go back and look it up.
Yeah,
But you know who I'm talking about. That happened in Formula One.
it's not coming to mind. It's the only Formula One death that I remember from the '90s was Ayrton Senna when he lost when the car broke on him. The tire hit him in the head.
That's
Yeah.
the one I'm talking about.
Okay, yeah. What happened is he'd been bottoming out all race, and he went into a high speed. It was a wide open corner, and a tie rod broke, and the tire came up and caught his head.
Killed him instantly.
Yeah, pretty much.
I mean,
And
it's a dangerous sport, but
it was kind of funny. I saw something on Facebook the other day, and they were talking about what's the easiest sport to go pro in. And I say my comment was there are no easy sports to go pro in.
Not at all.
There's nothing there. No matter what competition,
Not even
there's
baseball.
no competition that's easy to go pro in. Even like throwing darts or playing dice or counting cards. None of that shit's easy.
No.
because you stop to look. Look what happened to Michael Irving. Look what happened to Tyler Lockett. Look what happened. Look what happened to Earnhardt Sr. Look what
Christian
happened.
Leighton.
Look what happened to those drivers in Formula One. Indy.
Yeah.
Right.
Alex Zanardi lost both his legs. I think that was in 2000. It was either 99 or 2000. I don't remember.
99.
Was it 99?
Yeah.
Okay.
Lost both
You guys
his
want me
legs.
to? You guys want me to
Lost both
list
his legs due to a severe crash.
Yeah.
Right.
I can list you the Formula One champions from 1990 to 1999.
Okay.
I wouldn't be able to get but two of them.
Yeah.
I won't be able to get any of them.
Maybe we should skip that.
I want to say Senna was 92 and 93
Incorrect.
on either one of those.
Both.
I know-
Senna won in 1990 and 1991. He was back.
Okay, I was off by 2
I know
years.
Michael Andretti won 1 or 2 in the 90s.
Andretti didn't win any Formula One championships.
Nigel Mansell won in 1992.
Yeah.
Alan Prost in 93.
Okay.
Schumacher, both 94 and 95.
Yeah.
Damon Hill in 96. Jacques Villeneuve, if I'm pronouncing that
Jacques
last name.
Villeneuve, 97.
Yep.
Senna
7.
was already dead.
And Mika Häkkinen won in 98 and 99 from Finland.
Okay, Mr. Adam, I got a question for you. Do you follow NHRA?
No, I can't get into drag racing.
Oh, that's fun. You need to watch that.
No, I can't. No, I can't.
No.
I can't. It's so boring. One lap is not a race. You can't.
One lap.
Yeah, you make one
Quarter
pass.
mile.
Ugh.
Quarter
Quarter mile
down
at
the
a
track.
time. Yeah. I
Yeah.
just
boring as
just never.
hell.
I mean, what they
by
do,
Speed
what
and reaction time.
what they do is impressive. It's just boring to watch. I think
Yeah.
I'd have a lot more fun if I was there at the track watching them run. I kind of feel like it'd be like
Ooh.
we talked about horse racing on the show.
Yeah.
I find horse racing boring too, and but a day at the races could be a lot of fun.
Yes.
Soccer is incredibly boring on TV, but it's great in person. Like, it's incredible in person. Watching.
We got a game on right now, actually.
Do you really? I have my MLB network on right now.
Okay,
Okay.
question for y'all three. 'Cause
Okay.
I already know who I got in this.
Okay,
We know we got the USFL championship game coming up.
sure.
Yes.
Birmingham Stallions and the Philadelphia Stars. Who do you think's going to take the whole enchilada?
Let's see.
What
I got
I've-
some poison here.
I'm gonna have to go
I'm
Birmingham.
gonna say the Stallions.
Let's say I'm going to take Birmingham too.
From what I've well,
I got Birmingham winning it.
Yeah.
yeah, that'd make it unanimous.
Yeah, and I'll discuss that on the show Saturday, of course.
Because I don't think Philadelphia can hang with Birmingham right now.
Good.
Birmingham-
Serves you right for being the Generals. The maggots.
Tell us how you really feel, Lou. Tell us how you really feel.
I can't say it on this show. I don't think. I think I'd be gone. I'll put you like this.
Hey, Rich, basically told me to F off last week. So, I mean,
Hey, it'd be like kind of like what Matt Hardy does. Delete.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, we haven't talked about the best part of the 90s yet.
Yeah, we didn't talk about
How
the
can we
WWE.
forget about the best part of the 90s?
Nevada.
Nevada.
Oh, no. But I did use that in the promo for the show.
Right.
But if we're gonna talk about 90s and talk about sport, we're gonna talk about sports entertainment and talk about the
WWE.
Monday Night Wars.
Oh,
WWE. I've been sarcastic before.
I remember that. 'Cause
Oh yeah, it was great.
Monday night, trying to figure out, should I watch WWE or should I watch WCW?
I was okay. So this is how funny I am. I was a WWE guy, but Goldberg was my favorite wrestler.
Yes.
Big Bad Goldberg.
I
Mhm.
loved Goldberg. I found out years later that people hated him. Like his competitors, the people that worked with him, absolutely hated him because he was terrible. He was bad.
He just
As a
dominated.
person,
Oh no, he was terrible at work. He was a terrible worker. They hated working with him because he was terrible.
okay.
He took bad bumps. He wouldn't bump you right. And they
He
just
ended Bret
hated
Hart's
working
career.
with him.
We talking about
Yeah.
the 90s, Adam. I got one for you.
Okay.
This man made his debut in 1990. He's from Death Valley, California.
The Dead Man. Yeah.
I think I remember
The
that.
Undertaker.
The Undertaker. Yep.
You just went into the Hall of Fame.
I got one for you.
Okay.
The best there was, the best there is, and the best there ever be.
Mhm.
Rick Hitman Hart.
Damn straight.
Undertaker.
Undertaker. I mean, well, it's kind of what I've done this rant. How many times, Brad? 4 or 5 times. This is my WWE rant.
There you go.
Here's one for you.
Okay.
To beat a man, you got to beat the man.
That's right.
Ric Flair.
Ric Flair. I think Ric Flair is an '80s guy, though.
The nature
Yeah,
boy.
but you know what? He's making a comeback.
I know he's gonna rant. He's gonna have one more match.
And Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns one more time.
Again.
Yep.
Jesus Christ. See, this is okay. So this is my WWE rant. This is my wrestling rant.
I
Okay.
quit watching WWE because it seems like they have the same wrestlers going up against each other.
Gerald, here's what's going to happen.
Week.
Brock Lesnar is going to win the championship.
Hmm.
Then you're
No,
going
really?
to have Riddle win the Money in the Bank. Riddle's going to cash it in, and Riddle is going to be the world champion.
Do you
Not
think? Do you
against Brock
think?
Lesnar. Not against
you-
Brock Lesnar. No.
Do you
no
think
way.
Orton interferes?
No way.
Orton's on the shelf.
Injured
Orton's on the
reserve.
shelf, but do you think he comes back and interferes?
It's a they're
I
pushing
think
Matt Riddle.
if
They're
Randy-
pushing
I like
Riddle.
Matt Riddle.
So I do too.
They saying
I
that
do too.
Randy is going to be out 6 to 8 months with this injury.
Do you think so?
Oh yeah.
You guys want to look at the card for the Money in the Bank pay per view?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, well you're
Good
pulling that
job.
up. I'm gonna go on my WWE rant,
The
which I've been teasing for the last 3 minutes.
last
but-
injury that Randy received required surgery.
Yeah. But I don't know how much of that is real and how much of that is kayfabe.
Exactly. You know,
So-
far as you know, Randy could be on tour.
Yeah, he could just need a break. He could have wanted to go on vacation.
You know, same way with Roman. You
Yeah.
know, Roman wants to leave WWE and go spend more time with his family.
And they've all got side projects going on and all that good shit. But okay, so my WWE rant goes something like this, and this is what I say about what made the '90s great was that top to bottom, everybody was both good on the mic and a good worker. You had great mid card guys that could carry a show. Well, you have the intro and the hot open where the heel comes out and says some trash about the city they're in, gets some cheap heat, then you push into the mid card, and you had great mid card guys in the '90s,
Yeah.
like guys that were popping off, like the Hardy Boys,
The
Yeah.
Dudley Boys.
the Dudley Boys, and it
Harlem
wasn't.
Heat.
Yeah, yep. You had mid card guys that could carry a show in the middle part of the show. Now you don't have that. You don't have those mid card guys that are just as big as everybody else. Like Rob Van Dam was a great example of a mid card guy.
RVD.
Jake the Snake, Iron
Ultimate
Sheik,
Warrior,
Sergeant
Hulk
Slaughter.
Hogan.
No, I'm. Those are you got it. Just as important to have the top guys like Hogan and Warrior and Taker and Kane and Stone Cold and Rocky. You got to have mid card guys that can carry the show. Guys like Kurt Angle, Eddie Guerrero, Chris Benoit. Guys that you can push from the mid card into the upper card. The WWE lacks mid-card talent right now. I mean, wrestling in general lacks mid-card talent. The guys that can get out and cut a promo. Guys that are interesting and fun to watch and put on a good match. And they lack creativity where it's a rehash, like you were saying, where Austin is, Roman Reigns is fighting Brock Lesnar again. You haven't seen that 6 other times.
And also there is another war going on, but it's not the Monday Night Wars right now. It's WWE versus AEW.
Yes.
And that's ground into a stalemate because both brands suck.
Well,
Wow.
at least with AEW, they don't have the same wrestlers going up against each other week after week.
But see, what I thought that AEW was going to do was be different. And a little bit of Nitro, or not Nitro, sorry, that's the other one. That's the original Monday Night Wars, not Nitro, Dynamite. Well, the stuff from Dynamite that I watched isn't anything different than what WWE is doing.
Yeah, but AEW has better storylines.
But the work isn't any good, isn't any better.
No, it's not.
The in-ring, I think that's what we forget about the mid '90s and late '90s WWE is that they were both good on the mic and good in the ring. They were creative, they were interesting, they were fun to watch and fun to listen to, and those guys,
the women's division was awesome too. You had same thing with the men and the women. You had those mid-card entertainment with the women and the men that could carry that division.
Beth Phoenix, I can see her face. Chyna, Tori
Keebler, Toy Wilson.
Exactly.
Lead in Trish.
Trish Stratus.
Yep. I mean, and they were all.
And I get a kick out of Jerry the King Lawler every time Toy Wilson would come out. Look, puppies! And I just burst out laughing. I'm like, wow, laughing.
So here is the Money in the Bank card. For the men's Money in the Bank match, they have one participant to be determined. Right now, it's Rollins, McIntyre, Sheamus, Umos, Sami Zayn, and Riddle. And there's one
Okay.
to be determined.
If I have to pick two
Riddle.
final participants in the men's Money in the Bank,
Go ahead.
I'm going to say McIntyre and Omos.
I'll go McIntyre and Riddle.
The women's Money in the Bank match is Lacey Evans, Alexa Bliss, Liv Morgan, Raquel Rodriguez, Asuka, Shotzi, and Becky Lynch are in the.
Ooh, I would have to go Liv Morgan and Lacey Evans for the final
I'm
two.
gonna go Becky Lynch.
All right. The Raw Women's Championship is between Bianca Belair and Carmella.
Bianca.
Yeah.
The SmackDown Women's Championship is between Ronda Rousey and Natalya.
Ronda.
Yeah.
Ronda.
They telegraphed that for the last 2 months.
The United States Championship is between Theory and Bobby Lashley.
Bobby Lashley.
Yeah.
I'll go Bobby.
The Undisputed Tag Team Championships are between the Usos and the Street Profits.
Street Profits.
Usos.
Yeah.
And if you did not hear earlier today, Logan Paul signed a WWE contract to face
I
The
heard.
Miz at Money in the Bank.
Interesting.
I heard.
He wants revenge after WrestleMania. Or
I
after
hope
Royal
Logan
Rumble.
Paul
Sorry.
tears The Miz apart.
I hope he
I've
does
never
too.
liked The Miz either.
Rip to shreds.
Now, you know what would be funny? Check this out. You know how they saying that there's one participant that is to be named to Money in the Bank ladder match? Okay?
Yeah.
What's to say it's not Logan Paul?
It could be.
It might.
It could
That
be.
might be true. It could be Logan Paul.
Could be Jake
I
Paul.
wouldn't put it past it.
Because look what happened last year when Brock Lesnar got thrown out of the Royal Rumble match.
Yeah.
I mean, when he lost his match, he came back into the Royal Rumble.
True.
No, anything's possible.
Indeed.
Well, especially with the TBD thing, so you never know where they're going to go. You know what's going to happen because they can go either way. I mean, heck, it could be Edge for all we know. You know, he's been out. He got knocked out by his own people.
That right there, that was wrong
It's a bad sign.
for them to do that to Edge.
That's my guy. That's my guy. I mean, you were talking about tag teams, Edge and Christian. I mean, the TLC wouldn't have been anything without Edge and Christian. The Dudleys, and
I know.
the
You
that
know,
match wouldn't be anything without those three tag teams.
even though Edge comes off being a heel
Mm-hmm.
and then a good guy, both either way, he's just an excellent performer.
Yeah, I agree. Yep.
Yeah,
Again,
and that's
We don't know. I'm curious to see who that last guy is going to be in the Money in the Bank match.
I mean, we can sit here and guess and speculate all day, but we don't know.
Could, but
It could be Lou.
oh, thanks.
He
It
signed a
could be-
WWE
It could be
contract.
Brad. It could be Adam.
Yeah,
I think I'll play money
it
with
won't
Brad.
be me.
it's not going to be me. I didn't sign no contract. I can promise you that.
They didn't offer me a contract.
They
Vince
take one look
McMahon
at
didn't
me.
come to me, so
They take one look at me and pay me to leave.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
My back the way it is right now.
My knee, no.
I tweaked my back at work today, and I've
Ooh.
been messed up all day.
Speaking of backs, how's your back, Brad?
it's good. You're actually it bothered me on Wednesday after I went to the baseball game. I'm actually going to the chiropractor next Thursday to get some well-needed therapy. So I'm going to
I
go
need to
get
go
it.
see a chiropractor about my knee. See if
I'm
we
going to
can
go get it taken care of
something.
because I'm tired of the pain. So you don't want to go to the doc, but then after a while, it gets to the point where the pain's more annoying than going. Just suck
Yeah.
it up, Buttercup, and go. And I'm gonna go. I made an appointment, so I'll be on the show next week. But I'm gonna go get a adjustment before I get on the
Do
show.
not let them put you in an MRI machine. Those things are uncomfortable.
I've been in one before.
No.
I know what
Those
it's like.
things are uncomfortable.
Well, if you're claustrophobic, you're SOL. I can tell you that right now. If you're
Yeah.
claustrophobic, you're
If
in
you only
it.
got-
Yeah, it's
Luke-
like this much space.
Yeah,
Yep.
up here.
Yeah, you got about this much space.
Yep. And they tell you, oh, put headphones in. Nothing will blast that sound out. That sound, that machine
Nope.
makes
It's like,
nothing can stop that sound. Yep. And it goes forever. It's like a 6 or 7 minute just barrage of listening to that sound pound over and over again.
Yeah.
Somebody said AEW adjustment.
bing, 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 bing.
Is that Rich talking? Who's AEW adjustment? That Rich?
I
I
don't
don't
know.
Is
I'm not
Rich
sure.
says AEW adjustment. I'm guessing it's Rich because it says Facebook user. Usually
I'm ready whenever you are, Brad.
I'm not sure.
go right ahead. If you want to rant, you go right ahead.
Yeah.
Okay. This rant is to all you so-called delusional cowboy fans out there.
Right.
I can't
How
wait.
dare you sit there and say we need the Dominican Sue?
Ooh.
This man is washed up. He's a cancer. That's why he's been bounced around from team to team.
Exactly.
And also, we got an Opie Taylor looking dude as an offensive coordinator. He needs to take his funky ass back to Mayberry and hang out with the. don't laugh, please.
Golly.
Take his.
Oh, that was a
butt
great
back to
show too. That was a great show. That show came way before my time, but that was a great show. That's
Yeah.
Take his butt back to Mayberry and hang and get back with Andy and Aunt B.
And Barney.
Yeah, then we got the
Back to Ed Barney.
Marshmallow Man from Ghostbusters as the head coach.
I thought this was a Michelin Man,
Wait,
but
McCarthy.
Well, okay, Michelin Man then. But if y'all happy with that, y'all are some delusional Cowboy fans.
Yes.
the Cowboys fans have been delusional since 1995.
And let me make an argument for all the Sioux fans out there.
Yeah.
And also, this crap y'all say every year. This is our year. This is our year. Stop.
Exactly.
Stop it. This is getting old real fast. And let me ask
Well,
Brad,
you know who the
let me ask y'all a question. Okay.
Okay.
What was the Cowboys defense ranked before Quinn took over?
I would say near the bottom of the league.
We were dead
2025.
last.
Dead last. Dead
Dead
last.
last. Okay.
Yeah.
And now we in the top 20 in defense. And these fans are saying that's not good enough. Hey, going from dead last to being in the top 25,
That's because
Yeah.
you're an impatient fan base.
that's an improvement to me.
Well, hey, these are from last place, so.
They're an impatient fan base. That's what Cowboy fans are. They're
Well,
impatient.
they got some. Well, you know who the big.
Way.
Well, you know who the biggest delusion.
Coach, let him bring the team up.
Well, you know who. Well, you know who the biggest delusional Cowboys fan there is right?
Who's that?
It'd be Jerry Jones.
Jerry
Yeah.
Jones. Jerry Jones likes to get his happy time from massage parlors, okay?
Right.
Well, Jerry's been running the team in the ground for 30 years.
Yes, that's another part. Everybody's saying, "Oh, Jerry this, Jerry that."
Mhm.
What has Jerry done in the last 20 plus years?
Nothing.
He's ran the team into the ground. So if y'all happy to sit there and
Yeah.
say,
I mean,
"This
well,
is our year, we need Ndamukong Suh, all this," y'all need a reality check.
it was Jerry's genius that fired Jimmy Johnson. Because anybody can coach this team. We'll get
And
anybody to
that's the
coach this
reason
team.
why-
Mike,
And that's what
Us
he
real
thought.
Cowboy fans
Yeah.
get laughed at because of these damn delusional, idiotical jackasses.
Yes. We
Well,
can
the
do a better
biggest
job.
delusional-
You know, with
Whoa.
me, I look at it this way. If we win a Super Bowl, cool. If we don't, we don't.
Cowboys
No,
are
man.
not the-
been dead the last 26
Well, you're-
years.
And
Okay.
like
That's got to be rich.
like Ndamukong Suh.
Thank
No,
you,
he
Rich.
passed around like a used. I'm not gonna go there, but you know what I'm talking about, Brad.
Right.
Like a cheap suit.
No,
Well, I will say this. I mean, take it away. Yeah, he did help the Bucks win a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I'm not going to sit there and say otherwise.
but
The
he's a
defense-
cancer on the in the locker room, and he has a lot
If
of.
he
I
lasts
don't
for more
think
than 2 or 3 years.
He's not as
He's-
much as a cancer as he used to be. He's
But
not as
he
much
is a dirty player, though. We all know
He's
that.
very dirty. He was dirty. He's
Yeah.
been dirty ever since he came into the league 10 years ago.
correct.
And
I agree with that.
And the Cowboy defense already has enough penalties without having that jackass on the team.
Agreed. I mean, if I was in the front office looking at the Cowboys roster, and honestly, I don't really think that there's much you need to do right now. Just stand pat, and we'll see where we are in pre. Let's get out on the field and see where we're at. I kind of think.
There's word saying that Dallas is going to go after Sue.
I wouldn't hate it, to be honest with you, if you can get him a 1-year deal at a veteran minimum. You get a 1-year deal at the veteran minimum, I could live with that.
Now, I agree. If we can get him for a 1-year deal, we can help these rookies.
And help to build the team as a stopgap, as a bridge to next year.
But don't use him as a starter. Use him as like a backup or on special plays. But honestly, I don't think we need Sue. Because
No.
we got Michael Parsons. We just picked up a stud off the draft.
Rich has them finishing 9-8 this year.
I agree with Rich. I say 9-8.
Zeke can't run and Dak hit his money.
That
Cowboys
brings,
would be lucky
that
to
brings
finish
me to that brings me to my next point. That Ewok looking little fella by the name of Zeke Elliott,
Yeah.
the reject Ewok from Star Wars, he needs to take his butt on down the road.
He's got to earn his keep this year.
No, Zeke needs to go. And
Bridge, you're right.
that overgrown Michael Vick wannabe, Dak Prescott,
Ooh.
gotta go.
I don't like Dak. Wow.
Look, Brad, let me ask you a question, okay? Let's say if you're the quarterback, okay? 14 seconds left on the clock, and your OC calls a running play. Would you audible out of that?
I would have, but I mean, maybe he didn't have a choice in the matter. I mean, I know they're professionals. I know it's not like in college football where if you don't make a play, they're going to bench your ass or they'll cut you. The NFL is a little bit different, but maybe, they said, no, Dak, don't. This is the play. So,
Well,
I mean,
Dak-
again, it goes through McCarthy. It goes through your OC. So that was not the right call, but that's not on Dak. I mean, you can't
Well,
blame
yeah,
that.
Dak could have audibled out of it.
Well, no, I'm not disagreeing with you on that call, but again, Dak's been a good quarterback, other than when he got hurt for the Cow. I'm not saying he's Troy Aikman. He's not going to replace Troy. That's obviously
Nobody
every
replace Troy.
Cowboy fan. Yeah,
Dak would be a good
back
backup.
Danny White and all those good quarterbacks prior to Troy getting there.
Yeah.
But
Dak
it's
would be a
been-
great backup.
But then who's going to be your starter then?
Go get a young quarterback.
Dak has too much money.
Yeah, I said they just paid him.
You
a
can't
ton
just
of
go
money.
get another guy.
They just paid
Dak
him a
makes way
shit
too
ton of
much money.
Well,
You'd have to move him.
We could trade. Let's say we could possibly trade Zeke. Because if we trade Zeke, that's going to free up that money.
And then who plays running back? Who do you have in the backfield?
Tony Pollard.
Yeah.
If that's the way you want to go, I mean, that's
if that's the young
Tony
man,
Pollard
if
is
you
not
put more
Zeke
weight
Elliott.
on him, he can turn out to be another Emmitt Smith.
oof, that's some heavy shoes to fill.
Yeah.
He could
Emmett
be.
was,
He
Emmett
could
was
be-
my boy from out of Florida, so
No, I'm not saying he can be as good as Emmitt Smith, but he can be close.
Another Emmitt Smith style guy.
yeah.
Well, the game is changing so much.
Well, it's getting away from the running back. It's a
It really is.
passing
That's the
league.
problem.
And having an elite running back like Zeke Elliott is going to be, if Zeke can get back to 2016 form, they can be dangerous. That offense
Absolutely.
can
That's
be
the
dangerous.
problem. Zeke cannot get back to the 2016 form because he's let this money go to his head now.
I was gonna say too. Basically, it's their division to lose. I mean,
Really?
no one in that division. Maybe Philadelphia.
Yeah, Philadelphia can.
Or excuse me, the Commanders are not anything, and the Giants. Yeah, they had a great draft. We'll see how all those players get together when this.
That doesn't mean nothing.
The NFL East is going to come down to Dallas and Philly.
I agree. Hands down, I agree with that. The only surprise team would be Washington. That would be the only thing. But with
And
all
I know
that
you
dark
said-
clouds over that franchise, because of their lovely owner Daniel Snyder, yeah, they've got dark clouds forever till he
I'm
signs.
not going to catch some slack for this, but everybody's entitled to their own opinion.
Absolutely.
Right.
I don't see us winning the East this year.
You think the Eagles going to
Really?
get it?
The Eagles.
I think the Eagles can do it.
I think
It's all
Eagles
gonna come
can
down
do
to
it, but I
Jalen
think the Giant, and watch us
reason
all
why
be
I
wrong and
say
watch
that-
Washington win the sumbitch.
I was gonna say, watch the Commanders win it all.
The reason why I say that we won't be able to win the division this year is because of one key player we let go.
Yeah.
Who's that? Amari Cooper?
Murray Cooper. What were we thinking?
Oh, I thought Amari Cooper was overrated.
Because every football fan knows that Cooper is a clutch receiver.
Yes.
I think CeeDee Lamb's better.
Hey, this could be CeeDee Lamb's breakout year.
This has to be CeeDee Lamb's breakout
I was
year.
gonna say that kind of has to be now.
I kind of feel like CeeDee Lamb was better than Amari Cooper in every aspect.
And we just
Yeah.
went
And cheaper.
and picked up TJ Vasher.
Okay.
But then again, I agree with Adam. This is Adam and Brad. This has got to be Lamb's breakout season.
Well, this is his second year.
Right.
So, is it his second or third year now?
Look what he
this is
did in Oklahoma.
Cool.
CeeDee Lamb was
Yeah.
was a beast at Oklahoma.
Indeed, he was.
Mhm.
Look what he did to my Longhorns.
Yeah.
He burned us.
Oh, trust me, there's a lot of players that in each conference you want gone because they kill
Oh,
you.
definitely.
Yeah.
But
They kill you.
I was happy we picked up Lamb.
Yeah. You poached him from the Eagles. That's what it was, 2019 or 2020.
Yep. They got
And the Eagles wanted Michael Parsons.
You got
They,
him too.
They moved up in the draft to get CeeDee Lamb. I remember right in front of Philadelphia.
Yeah.
That's who Philly wanted. Also was CeeDee Lamb.
They moved up and took him
Yep.
away right before Philadelphia picked.
and they wanted Michael Parsons too, but we moved up in front of them to snag Parsons.
Correct.
Yep. So they took Jordan Davis, who was the one I wanted.
Mm-hmm.
And this young kid that we got in this year's draft, I don't remember his name, but reports out of camp are saying that he's pushing Michael Parsons around like a piece of paper.
It could be a good thing. Rookies.
Yeah.
You want your rookies to be that way. Make the veterans think they might lose their job. So,
If this rookie is as good as they say he is, I would put Parsons on one end and the rookie on the other end, had that dual pass rush threat.
Absolutely.
Because you know, if you double team Michael Parsons, you got this other end to worry about.
That's why I wanted the Lions to take Jordan Davis.
Jordan Davis is gonna make an impact on that Eagles team.
He's gonna be a killer.
You know, that's why I'm saying that the Eagles are going to outplay us this year because their defense is going to be scary.
No, it's going to come down to Jalen Hurts too. Because remember now, this is kind of his year to prove everything.
Yep.
So,
Well,
pressure on him on the
Here's
offensive side.
Prove all the haters wrong.
here's Mr. AJ Brown talking his
Absolutely.
Yeah.
talking about he's going to smack Michael Parsons around.
Yeah. No,
I've
I
been
mean,
trying to tell all the Eagle fans that's not going to happen.
well, again, you know, we're a month away because tomorrow's July 1st. We're about a month away from, you know, training camp starting up, and
Yep.
a couple months from now we'll be talking this week by week stuff, and we'll see exactly, you know, where everyone's at. It's going to be exciting to see.
Yep.
And also,
we can sit here.
all I know is if Dallas does not reach the playoffs, all the NFC Championship game this year, McCarthy's gone.
Oh yeah.
I agree
Probably.
with that. I think Mike McCarthy's already on the hot seat as it is, and it's
Indeed.
if they finish 9-8, he gets fired. I mean, he has to have a winning record. They have to be, like you said, Gerald. They have to win the division and or get to the NFC Championship game. And right now, the NFC's tough. The NFC's tough. Tampa Bay is back. Green Bay is still there.
We got the Rams.
The Rams, the 49ers might be one of those Black Knight type teams that no one's talking about.
Dark horse.
We got who else we got? We got the Rams, the 49ers, the Packers.
Tampa Bay. You got to put the Bucks
Bay, Minnesota.
Maybe. Kirk Cousins. It all depends. It all depends.
You know, that could become another Minnesota miracle.
True. That's true. Trying to think of who else.
I do not see the Cowboys. You know, don't get me wrong. I love my Cowboys. I'm a diehard fan. You can ask my wife, but I don't see us making the playoffs this year.
Yeah.
So then you have Philadelphia winning the NFC East.
I don't know.
Again, we'll see. Because
you could win the East and not make the playoffs.
Yeah.
No, they can't.
No, if they win the NFC East, you're in the postseason automatically. You're a conference champion. You're that's an automatic bid to the playoffs. Okay. Now, you might lose in the first round of the playoffs.
Yeah, I might not make it out of the first round.
Like we did against the 49ers.
Your 4 conference champions get there. So if you predict Tampa Bay, Green Bay, Philadelphia, and then the Rams, there's your 4 division winners. And there's 3 wild card teams?
Yep.
3 wild card teams this year? Is there 3 or 2?
I think it was
3. Yeah. So then they'll take the next 3 teams. That could be Dallas. Dallas could be in that conversation as one of the wild card teams.
Dallas, Arizona, Minnesota, maybe.
There you go. I like that. I don't think anyone in the NFC South, other than the Bucks, are going to make the postseason.
We already know the Rams. We already know the Rams are going to make the postseason.
Yeah, the Rams will win the West.
Bucks will win the South. Hands
the Bucks
down.
will win the South. Packers will win the North.
Mm-hmm.
And then let's say the Eagles win the East.
Mm-hmm.
That leaves 3 spots for maybe 4 teams. San Francisco, Minnesota,
Arizona,
Dallas, Arizona.
Yep,
I think those 3 spots for 4 teams right now, depending on who gets hurt and whatnot.
With a 9-8 record in the East, I think it's going to be hard to win that division.
You're right.
I think they'll be better than 9-8.
How much better?
9-8 on the low end, 10-7 on the high end.
Okay.
You don't think they'll go 11-6?
I think I have 12-4 right now. or 12 and
You
5.
got the Cowboys going 12-4.
Or 12 and 5.
12 and 5.
12 and
12-5,
5.
I mean.
5.
I have to look back at stuff, but I'm pretty sure, yeah.
Without Amari Cooper.
Yeah, because CeeDee Lamb's better.
5.
Yeah, but at least Amari Cooper took the double team coverage off of CD Lamb.
Yes.
Now,
let's-
here's
who
going
else does Dallas have
to be
a wide
the
receiver?
telltale sign this season. How good is Lamb against the double coverage in the NFL?
It's going to come down to who his teammates are. Who's his other wide
Yeah.
receivers in
I don't know
Dallas?
who's the other wide receiver out there.
And I've heard that's going to be Vasher.
Okay. Well, then it's going to come down to what offensive scheme they put in play if CeeDee Lamb does get double teamed.
And
You're
then
gonna have to
also,
go with
and
somebody
also
else.
we got Dwight. We got Shorts coming back.
Cubs and Reds.
So,
Yeah, definitely.
Right.
but yeah, y'all delusional Cowboy fans just make me sick.
No, it's because they're impatient, and like Adam said, they've been spoiled so many years. They've been spoiled, and they want everything to they want to win now, and
Mhm.
they at this time it's just not in the card. It's
But
not.
then, I like to see one more Super Bowl in my lifetime.
So
Well, I'm not saying that they're not going to win one more. I'm just saying not right now.
No,
Not right now.
Okay.
it's not. It's not. NFL doesn't have it set up for us to win one right now.
Yeah.
The NFL is rigged.
Okay.
Well, who is the team that's going to win it this year? Los Angeles, Tampa Bay, Green Bay. Who's the lucky team this year? The Treason. That's the whole thing is they want parity in sports, right?
Mm-hmm.
They complained and fought
Right.
that they didn't want the Tampa Bay Lightning in the Stanley Cup Finals for the last 3 seasons.
Okay.
They bitched and hated us
who's
for
gonna
being
be
in
the
the Stanley Cup
lucky
Finals.
this year?
So if they want parity, then you know what? Stop Golden State from winning so many damn championships in the NBA.
Right.
I say Chargers going to be the lucky team this year.
Los Angeles, the other team.
I can see the Chargers getting it done.
I like Justin Hubert a lot. That kid's
Yeah.
got some upside.
I like Herbert. I like
They
Herbert
got-
a lot.
They've got a good defense in Joey Bosa. They
I
have
tell you
good
what I like to see. I tell you
What?
what I would like to see. LA Chargers, LA Rams.
by the Los Angeles.
Hmm.
Where's
Battle
the,
of
Super,
the Bay.
Good movie.
where's the Super Bowl this year? Is it in LA or is it in Vegas?
It's in Vegas.
It's in Vegas. It's going to be at Alliance Stadium.
Ooh, that would rip the Raiders fans if a division opponent happens to be in the Super Bowl. Ooh,
And their home
that would sting
ballpark.
a little bit. Yeah.
But I still think the Rams and Chargers would be a damn good game.
No,
Yeah,
I would. Yeah, I wouldn't disagree with that.
You know,
I just
look at Stafford. He didn't do nothing with Detroit. He came over his
Never
first
really
year.
good.
He came over his first year with the Rams and took him to the Super Bowl.
He did everything he could in Detroit. You can't help managing a bunch of dipshits.
But of course, he had receivers like Cooper Kupp,
Mm-hmm. Doesn't
And-
hurt.
and you had your defense, which was Aaron Donald.
Yeah, no kidding.
highest paid player outside of being a quarterback in National Football.
And then Aaron Donald, he just got his cha-ching money.
They all got paid.
They all got paid.
Yeah.
Well, gentlemen, anything else before we close out the show?
I feel like hot death.
Happy 4th of July. Y'all be safe out there.
Exactly.
And
Come back
my
with all
show
your
will be
fingers.
back after the 4th of July.
Come back with all your fingers.
Yeah,
don't
do JPP.
be a Jason Pierre-Paul.
Right.
Yeah,
But save me a firecracker anyway. So,
sure.
You guys want to go ahead and do show stuff? Go right ahead, guys. I'll give you guys the stage.
All right. Enhanced Sports Show, Saturdays, 5 to 10 p.m. East Coast time. Number to call is 512-543-4662. I'll repeat it again, 512-543-4662. Yes, there will be a show this Saturday. Hey, why not? It's a great way to do with your 4th of July weekend. You can celebrate with us. We got, of course, a lot of recapping. We're going to recap the NHL Stanley Cup Finals. We're going to recap the College World Series, which was a doozy. I usually say myself. We're going to have a preview of the USFL Championship, of course. NBA Free Agent Frenzy, which is going on right about now.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to be probably in 2 parts. Probably in 2 parts, I believe. So,
right?
yeah, we'll take care of that. And a whole bunch of other features, of course. And, of course, let's look at the baseball standings as we're now approaching the halfway point of the year. Oh, boy. So, if you got time, if you're not like doing your barbecues or whatnot, or hanging to the beach at that time of the day, give the show a call, 512-543-4662, and have a bang of 4th of July with us. Yes, I wrote that.
Sounds like fun.
I believe a lot of people.
Sure, go right ahead, my brother.
My show will be back after the 4th of July.
Okay.
We're taking this weekend off so everybody can spend time with their families and celebrate our independence. And also, I want to thank our first responders, our military personnel, for giving us this right to celebrate the 4th of July. Without them, none of this could be possible.
Correct.
They choose to put that uniform on.
Mhm.
They wasn't forced to. So whenever you see a veteran, active, or former military, please walk up and shake their hand and give them a big thank you.
Absolutely. I heartily agree with that.
You know, that means more to them than anything.
Yep.
It's just a recognition.
I agree with that.
You know, and like with me, I don't know if y'all know this, but I'm a first responder in the weather community.
Right.
That's cool.
I knew that.
You know, we're the first ones to see a storm come in.
Yep.
And
Whereas
we're basically the first
no.
line of defense for these people to get them to safety.
Gerald, you guys get a lot of hurricanes in Texas coming up the Gulf, right?
That
No.
low pressure system in the Gulf, it may not affect the coastline because right now they got it predicted that it's going to go off to the right.
Okay.
But
The Panhandle, right?
yeah, but I've been doing this for so long now, it could switch and come towards the coast.
Oh,
Yeah.
hell yeah. Hurricanes are nothing to mess around with.
You know,
Same
look
thing,
at-
man.
I've been lucky myself.
Look at
I've
Katrina.
been lucky myself.
Now look at Katrina when she
Yeah.
made rainfall. So I'm sitting there watching it. And,
Yep.
and she went out. She went out. She came in. She got right to the coast. She turned around and went back out. Then she came back in. I kept thinking, she's either going to come in as a 4 or 5.
5.
Sat out in the Gulf for 3 days before
Yeah.
she made landfall.
Yeah. Sat out on the Gulf for 3 days before she came in.
Mm-hmm.
And
Looks like Houston's looking at some traps. Stay safe in Houston this weekend. We're expected to get some tropical flooding this weekend.
matter
Flash flooding.
of fact, let me go look at radar real quick, and I can tell you exactly what's going on. Where's it at? Where's it at? There it is. All right, get back here. Ah, you turkey. Down near Houston. Let's see what's cooking it down near Houston. Right now, Houston looks clear.
Over the weekend,
All right.
there's a tropical storm that's in the Gulf right now. They're predicting landfall this weekend, Saturday, I think it was.
Oh, great.
I'm looking that up right now. This weekend. Okay, Houston Texans 10-day forecast. Okay. You said Saturday, it's 56% chance of rain.
It's pretty high.
Let me do something here real quick. Okay. Rain showers. Okay, this is for Saturday for Houston. Rain showers in the morning with scattered thunderstorms arriving in the afternoon. High 92. Wind south at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Chance of rain 60%. Then for Sunday, 94, partly cloudy skies. A stray shower thunderstorm is possible. High 94. Wind south-southeast at 10 to 15 miles per hour.
94.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, you're gonna need that to cool it off.
Yeah, but you think you got that golf. You got the coolness coming off the golf with this heat.
Right.
It's going to pop.
I'll say.
It's actually thundering right now where I'm at right now in Florida.
Oh, great.
We've been getting late night rain showers.
If Brad and Adam, if y'all want me to, I can add you to. I can send you the link to my storm page on Facebook and my chat.
Sure.
Yep.
Absolutely.
So that way, y'all, because there's always somebody on there posting updates.
Cool.
Yeah, I've been there.
Lou knows because he comes in there every now and then.
Yep. Because I'm a weather geek myself.
There's always somebody on, and y'all can always send me a message and ask me to look, and I jump on and see and tell you what I see.
Yeah.
Adam, you got anything to say before we close out the show?
See
Y'all
y'all
just
next
be
Saturday,
safe.
Thursday, whatever.
Y'all just be safe. 4th of July, and I see y'all the week after. I see y'all a couple days after the 4th.
Sounds good. Yes, guys, we will be back normal time, 8 to 10 p.m. It'll be a normal show next week, guys, and then we'll do a 70s theme show in the second week of July.
The platform shoes.
We'll take the time machine back to the 70s in a couple weeks. But yeah, everyone
Already the platform shoes, the disco records. Oh boy.
Enjoy the 4th, guys. Be safe.
And if you have any 70s clothes, wear them for the show.
Yeah, all swag. Oh no.
We have been sponsored, guys, by Carrots and creatingzenspaces.com. We are live on NGSE Sports. Remember the website, guys. It's ngsesports.com for all your current sports content. And we are also part of In the Zone Sports Talk Radio. Everyone out there, stay safe. Have a happy 4th of July. Yes, like Gerald said, thank our first responders and our men and women of our armed services. We appreciate everything that you guys do. We would not be here doing this without you guys doing what you do. At the end of the day, guys, we all love everyone that came on here. Everyone stay safe. We'll be back on the 7th of July, a couple of days after the 4th. I'm going to go and have a very, very relaxing weekend and enjoy the weather outside, the hot weather outside here in Florida. But until then, guys, everyone stay safe. We'll be back next week. Until then, peace.
Say a burger on the grill.
Send it.